Recorded live from Orlando, Florida and Nashville, Tennessee, you're listening to The Dapper Danielle Show. Starring Ian Wilson, Clarence Kelly. And now, here's your host, the one and only, The Dapper Danielle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Dapper Danielle Show. I am The Dapper Danielle, joined by Clarence Kelly and Ian Wilson up there in Nashville, Tennessee. They're holding down the fort up there. And we want to go ahead and jump into this theme and this topic because we are going out to Anaheim, California, just a couple days after this episode airs, which we're very, very excited about. So I want to stick with that theme. But before we get into that, we do have a couple of reviews that we want to go through. And I think Clarence and Ian, I'll have you go through some of these. But before we get into that even, I want to acknowledge one of our Patreon followers that I don't know, Ian, if I told you this, I think we might have said it at the very end of last week's episode. But our friend Chica, did I tell you about the information Chica gave us? Okay, but yes. Clarence doesn't know this unless he actually paid attention to the end of the last episode when he was editing it, which I kind of doubt. But Clarence, we got confirmation on the Emperor of Japan and how he was not buried with his Mickey Mouse watch.
Oh, no.
And the lantern is not on the, isn't it like I don't want to like steal your thunder, but it's not on like the official registry of gifts essentially that is made in Japan when they give gifts.
Yes. So Chica is one of our Patreon followers out in Japan, which is amazing. And she messaged us during the last show. She's actually in our live studio audience as part of our refresher and premium bar tier over on the Patreon. So thank you guys so much for being here also. But she mentioned how there's a website for like the royal family that lists some of these different gifts and items. The lantern's not mentioned anywhere. And the Mickey Mouse watch that was rumored to be buried with him is not. It's in a museum in Tokyo.
Oh.
So you can actually see it on display in the Emperor Showa Memorial Museum in Tokyo, which is amazing. And I was like, I love that we have Patreon followers from all over the world and people that are even tuning in right now that are listening to us. And I think that's just so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Fact checking us. I like it.
Hey, somebody's got to keep us accountable.
Danielle can now talk about her global research team that goes around to independently verify my facts.
Yeah, and I'm not just going around Epcot World Showcase. I'm going around, I literally have people on location to be able to get this information for me.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. Exactly. Yes. All right.
That's cool. Thank you so much for sending that, Chica.
Yes, thank you. But we also have a couple other reviews over here that we want to cover. Who, Ian or Clarence, do you want to read one of the actually
comments? Really, most of them are comments. Right?
Most of them are comments.
Most of them are comments on our YouTube, and I pulled two. I feel like I should read the first two because they're about Clarence, and I feel like you can't read a comment about yourself being a positive comment. So the first two, I went back to our episode on the Duckman. And just saw that there was a couple of new comments on the YouTube video there. So this first one is from Amanda Thompson V7H, who said, Clarence, I loved this episode. I knew there was a scholar waiting patiently behind your usual chaos. I can remember first really becoming aware of Disney comics in the early 80s when Denny's had a series printed on their kids menu. They were really a lost gem in the Disney story, and I loved learning more. And then we also had Winnie Brown say, man, I can't wait to tell my dad about the Indiana Jones Beagle Boys connection. He is the biggest Disney nerd I know, and he's always loved the comic books, but I doubt he knows this bit. Thanks, Clarence, for such a fun did you know fact.
That was a good one.
Great comments on our Disney comics episode that Clarence spearheaded, which if you didn't watch 2 episodes ago, go check it out. It's a solid one.
Thanks, everybody.
Clarence, we do need to acknowledge because I made a video talking about how, oh yeah, we did this. It was on Donald Duck's birthday, and we posted this. Clarence totally knew this. Did you actually know this, Clarence?
Yeah, I definitely knew it was Donald Duck's birthday. That's why I chose it. Totally.
Clarence has a Google Calendar with all of the characters' birthdays on his phone, and he just
So it
checks.
really was just a happy accident?
Fully. It was fully an accident. I didn't know it was Donald Duck's birthday. I'm not... I mean... I don't think I know any of the characters' birthdays. I don't think I could name
I'm
a
bad about
single
them too. I know Walt's birthday before I know anybody else.
I don't even know
fair.
Walt's birthday.
To be fair, I've never been invited to any of their parties, so
That's, yeah.
I mean, can I really be expected to remember their birthday?
And they do tend to celebrate them for over a year spans also when they do celebrate these big milestone birthdays. So I understand
just
that.
learned and like memorized the opening dates for Disneyland and Disney World like 2 years ago. Like I'm still getting caught up to that point.
True.
Okay, and then 2 comments on our video from last week about the House of the Future. So the first one's from Jacqueline Kristen XO, which asked, was the House of the Future the inspiration for the Disney Channel original movie Smart House, and also the reason that many famous cartoons have a Smart House episode?
I do think it had a lot to do with that, and we're going to kind of tie into some of that concept a little bit. We're going to brush up on it. You're going to see the overlining like themes, right, when it comes to content. And what I mean by that is when something's happening in the company, and I mean this is usually earlier in the 50s, 60s, all that jazz, that whatever's happening on one business side usually funnels down into the animation side in some form, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think
I did see that I saw, I mean, I think personally, just as a fan of science fiction, the idea of a smart house, a autonomous kind of brain for your vessel, your house, your planet, whatever. That's not really a super unique concept to Disney, this idea of like a house controlling things. Like you think about something like 2001 Space Odyssey, or just, there's a lot of science fiction that involves that. I saw in particular that this one, the Smart House, was based on a science fiction, 1950s science fiction story that involved this immersive playroom for the children. So the house was kind of a smart house. It had this like nursery where the kids, their imagination would kind of come to life in the nursery, which sounds really good until the kids start fixating on the African savannah and vicious lions, and eventually lock their parents into the nursery where the lions devour them. And so it was kind of a critique of over-reliance on technology. Very weird. I mean, kind of but
so
I mean, I think
applicable. We need to bring these concepts back and write them into our current fight against AI.
No. All I'm saying is that, I mean, I do think it's applicable. It's like technology can give you sometimes your desires, but you have to make sure your desires are actually good desires, as opposed to just, being this unregulated kind of person. So anyways, I think that maybe Smart House maybe was not thinking particularly about the House of the Future when it's kind of thinking about this integrated technology. Maybe there were other inspirations there, but I think it just goes hand in hand with everything Walt's doing, everything kind of the movement, the spirit of the times, where it's future animation, or like artificial intelligence. Like, let's get technology integrated into everyday life as much as possible. Wow, it'll be so great. And now us in 2026 can say, it's okay,
True.
So anyways, that is kind of my thought.
I think that's a great way of putting it, Ian. Yes. And we have this other one down here. And then this one is from Elizabeth Kimmer, 3925, and it says, I'm only 38 minutes in, but this episode is reminding me of the Dymaxion House Dymaxion House by Buckminster Fuller at the Henry Ford Museum that's in Michigan. It is pretty sweet, and you are still able to tour the inside. A few years ago we did. Hopefully you can still go. You should definitely go visit.
Hashtag Pure Michigan.
Ooh,
I love that they added the hashtag.
This is interesting. This is another like futuristic prefab kind of type house. So we'll look more into that. But
does it look like a bubble?
It's circular in shape. I don't know if it's bubble. It looks kind of like an Airstream trailer to me in a way, but it's like circular.
Okay. Because we had another type of House of the Future that was on 192. And it lived there until the 80s, until 192 got redone. So I wonder if maybe it was done in the same timeline, in the same breath. I don't know. I'll have to do more research. But yes, we will have to investigate that one for sure. Okay. Well, with this theme of Anaheim and looking back on the past, we're going to go even older than the House of the Future. Okay? And we're going to talk about a character because I did a doodle. I'm currently working on a little something for FanExpo Anaheim. It's going to be an exclusive print. And I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, okay, what can I do? Because me and Ian actually were talking about this idea of I should make something extra special for some of these cons that we're going to later this year. Like an extra incentive to be like, no, if you want to get this, you only can get it at this show. Because we experienced that at MegaCon Orlando. People are like, okay, but what's exclusive for this year? And we had some things.
What does the chef have that's new?
New. They're asking what is new. Look at you doing the Remy quote. That's so perfect.
Iconic.
And so when we were talking about this, and I'm like, okay, what can I make that's something new? What can I do that's like ties in with my content that is on theme for me? And I started thinking about certain characters in Disney history. Of course, my Orange Bird. Nobody's surprised by that. Of course, I'm going to talk about Orange Bird. But I was like, okay, how should I tie this in? Should it be Orange County to Orange County, coast to coast aesthetic? Well, who represents Orange County out there in Anaheim? And I was like, Andy Anaheim.
Immediately came to my mind as well too when we were talking.
And
about
I know it did it.
reasons.
I know it did it. So I posted this. Let's see if it'll even focus. I posted this little cute sketch, and this is something I'm currently working on. So it's going to be Orange Bird to represent Florida, and Andy Anaheim to represent Anaheim. And he was a mascot that was created pre-Disneyland for the city of Anaheim by the Disney company. And I got so many DMs over on Instagram, and they were just like, Danielle, he's cute. Who's the random A guy? And I'm like, oh, I forget. A lot of you don't know who he is. So I feel like I should explain it before I actually bring it.
That nobody knows this character that nobody has thought about in 70 years.
No, he's talked about out there, or maybe I don't know. I think it's because I just assume everybody knows these things, because if I know it, then everybody else does, right?
Not a single person on the planet knows it, Danielle. Just you.
I know. Well, do you want to learn about who he is?
Maybe.
Yes.
He's a little
cute.
scary
I
looking.
think he's
I'm
so
not gonna
cute.
lie. I don't like him.
Why?
I think
I
he's
don't know.
creepy.
He just seems like a little too type A for me, if you ask me.
Because he's a literal A. You're ridiculous. Anyway. So let me introduce you to this character, right? So he is known as Andy Anaheim. Mm-hmm. He is a smaller character, and his body is literally the shape of a capital A. Yes. And he has a little cute head on top. He has two little arms and then two little feet that stick out at the bottom of the A. The A itself, the way that it's drawn and the way that's proportioned on him, it almost looks like overalls from a distance. Mm-hmm. And he has a big old black Mickey Mouse nose, but then he has two random antennas. And you're like, okay, are those hairs? Are those actual antennas? Is he supposed to be like Andy the ant? Is he supposed to be an ant? It's not really clear on what he is exactly. He is just
homunculus.
He is what he is. He is Andy the A,
an abomination.
representing Anaheim.
A is for abomination.
No, he's so cute. I love him. I think he's so funny. He first appeared in July 23 of 1954, so a year before Disneyland opened. And the reasoning why Well, actually, a whole article, a little mini blurb that appeared inside the Los Angeles Mirror on that date, showed up, and it says, and this is the quote from it: "With Anaheim's Disneyland construction only a few months away, the artists at the Big Beverly Hills studio have created a new Orange County resident. He's Mr. Anaheim. Designed for the Anaheim Chamber of Commerce's building group, the new charter was created at Disney Studios in conjunction with the city's advertising agency, Perryman, Spielman, and Stoops of Santa Ana, and Chamber of Commerce Secretary Ernie Moeller. Using the initial A, the capital A, as a theme, the cartoon studio animators have planned Little Mr. Anaheim to be used as in a score of ways. Mr. Anaheim will also be seen on Chambers of Commerce stationery, brochures, and many of the Anaheim builders' advertising, said the secretary.
Okay.
And that's what he became.
I think we have to refer to him as Little Mr. Anaheim from here on out. Andy seems a little
Anaheim.
too casual.
Well, I do think they decided
Please
to give
call
him a
me
proper
Andy.
name. And the
Mr.
reason,
Anaheim's my father.
secretary, that's who was his father. I think they actually ended up giving him a proper name and calling him Andy because they actually had like the beauty contest. There was Mrs. Anaheim, and there was a Mr. Anaheim that at this time in the 50s and 60s, where if you look up Mr. Anaheim in the newspaper archives, everybody but Andy shows up. So there's like one guy that I think he passed away in 96, and he was known as Mr. Anaheim.
Wow.
Anyway, so this little cute little character, he did appear on all this documentation for the city of Anaheim, and this was all leading up to Disneyland. But if it's so funny, you look up information in the archives from Disney, or you look up information on him from the city of Anaheim, there's nothing. Mm-hmm. Most of the information that we have to this day about him are from collectors of vintage media and like people that lived in Anaheim during this time, that were some of those original buyers during this housing boom that happened right at the same time Disneyland was opening. Interesting.
It's also
Very
interesting too, just thinking about the difference of like, I mean, I don't know, maybe this is like kind of a weird comment, but I feel like it's interesting thinking about how like a city would gravitate towards almost more of like a cartoon character, when I feel like in modern day everything is much more like serious, of like everyone would be like, well, that's like too childish to like market like the city of Franklin, Tennessee behind like a cartoon character, you know. But I feel like Andy Anaheim, other big corporations, you know, everyone really gravitated towards having like a character representation in a way. Whereas now that's like, I feel like companies are even moving away from that, like have already moved away from the like animated version of a character, but have now like even like Mr. Clean and stuff is like a real person. But even then I feel like they're like switching away from even like the live action portrayal or whatever. So I don't know, it's just interesting how like that the change in mentality kind of around it.
Right. And so I put this image up here at the same time you were finishing that statement, because it is true, and that ties in with a lot of the subject matter, is how this cute character, this little guy represented Anaheim. And the whole theme, there was a couple different themes for Anaheim, because they were really trying to sell it as like the next place to move, because just like Disney World, it was nothing but orange groves out here in the 40s, in the 50s. And so there was nothing. Everything that was built up around Disneyland was being built at the exact same time. So they were really trying to sell people to move into this neighborhood. So it was called the Anaheim City of Good Living. And you would have a cutesy character like this to promote families. And yes, as is it Amanda? Amanda's saying in the comments over here on Patreon that, yeah, it was for the suburban post World War II boom Dapper Danielle Show will be right back after these messages. Let me see what else I have on here. Yes. So I think about it, though. At the same time that we're talking about Andy, his story lines up a lot like Orangebird. Mm-hmm. So Orangebird was created, and if you don't know this already, I'm going to give you a quick recap of it. Orangebird was created to get sponsorship, and was to get the seal of approval from the Florida Citrus Commission to sponsor the Sunshine Pavilion inside Adventureland, aka Enchanted Tiki Room and Sunshine Tree Terrace. They asked for a character, and Disney created one for it. So they created Orangebird. Andy is kind of that same vein of Disney said, hey, we're buying up all this property, we're buying up all this land. How can we help you? We want to build up in this community. We don't want you guys we know we're doing something crazy. We're building a park and you don't know what a theme park is yet, but we're going to build it and you need to trust us. So how do you do that? You do subliminal messaging, and you use it by creating a comfort mascot character. And that was an Andy. And it's genius. If you look back at it, I'm like, oh, that's so genius, because he showed up before Disneyland did. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Andy crawled so Disney could run.
Well, yeah. Because so when that article that I read earlier released in 1954, immediately Andy started appearing in any type of Anaheim promotional material. Talking about how is the hub of Orange County. You can go out and do all these different things. And Andy Anaheim is standing there in the very center of the map. On all the chambers of commerce information. On your electric and utility bill. He's popping up on the bottom. And you're like, oh, he's such a cute little guy. He's so cute. But he still has that essence of a Disney character in him.
Mm-hmm. I'm Andy. I'm going to turn off your lights in 2 days if you don't pay up.
I mean, let's not go that far, but yes.
I will say, from a marketing perspective, this is actually something that I run into a lot with where I currently work.
Really?
Because as an illustrator, like my core is illustration. So a lot of my advertising work, I kind of pull from that world. And it is far easier to communicate emotions in a static visual ad with a character, with some sort of mascot, whatever it may be, because you can draw an expression, you can make them happy, sad, you can have them dancing, you can have them doing whatever you want them to be doing. Maybe they're building a house or like paying their electric bill. So I totally see the benefit of having a mascot like Andy or even like Orangebird, because it's easier for someone looking at an ad to immediately recognize the emotion of the ad and connect with it more on an emotional level rather than just a logical, I'm reading words on an ad like type level. And so I am all for mascot advertising and promotion. I think it's fantastic. I wish we had more of it, because I do feel like it is something that in the modern world of advertising we have seriously lost. But I do think for the same reason, that's why so much of advertising has moved towards influencers.
Yes.
Because they need someone to communicate that emotion.
So are you saying I'm a character, Clarence?
Totally.
I mean, that is accurate. 100% accurate. Yeah.
Not in your personality, but like, because it's like you are you wherever you're at. But like, I mean,
but there is
people
the
hiring
brand associating with the influencer too.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And like people, like when someone comes to you for a partnership, like they are hiring the Dapper Danielle, like, right. And you're following. They're not necessarily hiring like Danielle Kelly. but
No.
you're the same person, and like you're the same.
mean,
The thing is, like,
For most influencers, it should be the same person, but we do know of some people where it's not the same person. Like,
totally,
there are many that the username does not match up with the real person in real life.
Yeah, Danielle is. I know I'm biased because I'm your brother, but Danielle is exactly the same with us when she's not like doing her thing on social media. She is the same all the time.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. I tell people all the time, I ain't got time to pretend to be anybody else. So why would I?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, buddy. But yes, I think that actually hits the nail on the head. Great right there. I think that's great. And so with this whole theme also, right? The Andy becomes the symbol of Anaheim immediately and is first used during 1954, leading up to one of their biggest events, which is the Anaheim Halloween and Fall Festival, which still happens to this day, by the way, y'all. But this one, not only is it like the really big moment for Andy, but it's also Disney's big moment and really starting to put in the Disney marketing, getting people excited and ready for Disneyland. So Andy appears on all the merchandise. He appears on the fall buttons, like the collector's buttons in 54 and 55. It's him with the pumpkin. It's really, really cute. And it's that Anaheim orange color that's still associated with Orange County. And that's him. So, so cute. And not only that, Disney created and designed floats for this parade. And then the very first one in 1954, not the very first one, actually the parade itself has been going on since 1923, but the very first parade before Disneyland, Clarence Nash, the voice of Donald Duck, was the Grand Marshal of the 1954 parade.
Not to be confused with Clarence Kelly, the one of the hosts of the Dapper Danielle show.
Which was a great comment. We got so many comments off of that of being like, oh, I love that Clarence is the one that talked about it because Clarence is the same name of Clarence Nash. And that was the top comment I got on Instagram.
Totally intentional.
Was people making those. And I was just like, yeah, he didn't even know it was Donald Duck's birthday. I don't think that was intentionally.
It was not. But I'm not really surprised by... Clarence is a very old name.
It is a very old name. It's not a very common name anymore either.
I have never met a Clarence my age. I have not met... in real life, a Clarence under the age of 60.
Yes.
I'm the only one I know of. I'm sure there are others out there, but I have yet to meet them in person.
Leave a comment down below if you know a Clarence under the age of 30.
If you know a 30-year-old Clarence like myself.
Yeah. There are children everywhere with names from the wrong generation. And
support a young one with an old person's name now.
I'm going to use old people names for my future kids. Like, I'm going to have a son named Otis or something.
Honestly, that'd be so on brand for you, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great idea.
I'll have a Rockefeller.
Yeah!
Rockefeller Kelly.
Hey, Dad, where does oil come from?
Well...
Iran.
Anyway, let's refocus real quick. So in the same year again, Andy appeared on all the different cover letters on any type of piece of merchandise, any brochure, everything. And it like I said just a second ago, it is amazing the subliminal messaging from Disney and getting people comfortable with Disneyland coming in just less than a year. So he was used for all these flyers. He was on the utility bills. The main thing that he really got pushed for in the 60s and 70s was that he was used on all the city leagues for the kids. So if there was the City League, YMCA, basketball team, the baseball team, anything with a kids group in the city parks or even in the library, he would be the mascot in the center for. Well, just like Orange Bird, 1980 rolled around. And the 80s saw this. we'll blame it on the 80s, this modernization period when it came to mascots and illustration. I think, Clarence, you could even add in a little bit to this also with timeline, if you kind of look at it, right? Of when the ads and illustrations changed dramatically. And it was in the mid 80s when this tone changed. Mm-hmm. So Andy slowly began to disappear to the point where they made an official announcement for it in one of the Anaheim newspapers in 1986, announcing the brand new logo. So there was Mascot Andy, but then there was a new official logo for the Anaheim Chamber of Commerce. And it looks like a tree. It's really boring, honestly.
Lame.
Very modern. Very
No
lame.
emotion.
And this is what the clipping said. It says, while Andy Anaheim will continue to represent the city's youth playground programs, the city is introducing new, more modern logo. To promote the new logo, the Parks Department is offering bumper stickers for a contest with more than $35,000 in donated prizes. Information is available at City Hall.
More than 3,500.
Oh, 3,500, yes.
Yeah.
3,500.
5,000 is very different.
Yeah, no. 3,500. And so basically they acknowledged, hey, we're retiring Andy. This is why you're not seeing him on your utility bill anymore. You're not going to see him on anything. And he did. He disappeared just like Orangebird did. So Orangebird disappeared around about 85 also. So I don't know what was going on. 85, 86.
I genuinely think it is part of... I love Michael Eisner, but I will say this is probably his fault in that, like, there was such a push towards live media in the late 70s and into the 80s and 90s that, like, animation was kind of taking a back seat, and even especially TV animation. Like, TV animation was like, we're making kids shows. Cartoons are for kids at this point. This is when animation really left the, like, sphere of high art and became like product placement for toys.
And we saw that you were talking about how this same timeline was also in the 60s and 70s. The comic industry was all for kids, and it wasn't until what, the 90s that changed, or the early 2000s?
70s into the 80s. I mean, Marvel kind of, when Marvel came on the scene in the 60s and 70s, comics kind of, like, mainstream superhero comics kind of became more adult. And
so comics to be for adult, but cartoons, like, no, those are for kids.
Yeah, well, even like indie comics in the 80s, like, you had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that started as this really dark, edgy comic book and became like this, cowabunga, dude. Let's have pizza, hang out in the sewers, fight Shredder. Don't do drugs, baby. Kids. It was like, it became this, like, kidified version of itself. Yeah. So I think culturally something was happening where people were shifting away from viewing animation or cartoons or illustration, and like cartoonish illustration, as a serious art form and seeing it more for children. And I think you see that in advertising too in the 80s. Like, you see the shift to celebrity endorsement in the 80s, like hardcore with like Michael Jackson and Dan Marino. Big, like, I think a lot of things were, you had celebrity endorsement in the 60s and 70s, but in the 80s is when it, like, really took over. So again, you have, like, a real thing replacing this other thing, but you still need a carrier for that emotion, you know?
So you have a celebrity.
You have a celebrity instead of a cartoon.
Instead of a cute little orange bird, or instead of a cute little Anaheim Andy guy.
This is all conjecture and theory, and my
I think people would agree with us, though. I think that is good conjecture. I think that's good.
I don't know how accurate that is, but, like, that's what I assume.
I'm just going to put a slice of cheese on top of your conjecture burger too, and say that I feel like it would be interesting too to study it from the perspective of, like, okay, you have World War II, And post World War II, there's definitely the desire for like escapism and kind of let's forget the harsh realities of the world, because the world can be a cruel place. So it's like suburbia reigns supreme. Let's just embrace the idea of fun, happy cartoons, laughing, jokes, all this kinds of stuff. But then by the 80s, kind of getting into the 90s, you start hardcore getting into like the dot-com boom, where you have like the glorification of like the businessman making money in the real world. It becomes more of like, well, why would you do the fantasy
Wolf of
world
Wall
when
Street
you could
vibe.
just like, when you could just make the money in the real world, and like that would be like the ultimate achievement, then much more so than the whatever idyllic world you're kind of playing around with in cartoon worlds. And so then all of a sudden it becomes a shift of like, well, real people, real businessmen are out there like making money and watching real movies for adults, not cartoons, and it kind of like switches, because I feel like, I don't know, I would just think of that of like cartoons being an easier form of escapism than a live action film. And then that just, you throw in, sprinkle a little consumerism on top of that, the emergence of capitalism as like a really crazy dominant force in America leading into the 90s. And it's like, you're just going to hardcore pivot away from cartoons as a like means to convey messages to adults and prioritize celebrities, real world impact, dollars and cents type stuff. Anyways, that's my thick slice of cheese.
No, I thought that was very good. Very good. Very good. Yes.
I think too, in our Patreon chat, Amanda made a great point in bringing up maybe super saturation of cheaply produced Eastern European versions of original animated art contributed to the discounting of cartoons as art. I think there might be something to that, totally, where a lot of production went overseas. It went to Eastern Europe, and it went to Korea and China. And
Just had to throw that in there. We missed you, Clarence. You're gone for one episode, and we did get one impression in there.
Yeah, but I do think that maybe there's something to that, in that a lot of the jobs that were in those fields left.
And it's what's happening in live action now too. I mean, everything's getting outsourced overseas, and it's like just way cheaper to make a Korean drama than it is to make a drama set in Hollywood. And guess what? The consumers are totally fine watching two Koreans fall in love as they are watching two Americans fall in love. So it's like, great, let's make the
Crash
film
Landing
for
on
a
You
seventh
is
of the
still
cost.
the best, and I don't. That's better.
Crash
than
Landing on
anything,
You is great. I do love that show. As
better than
corny as
anything
it is.
Hollywood's done in a love story here recently.
Honestly, It's true. It is true. Definitely the best of all time.
Still, y'all can tell. Who knew you were going to get a random K-drama reference in the middle of the Dapper Danielle show when I'm talking about Indiana?
I think
We
too, though,
appreciate true art.
taking this even further, though, we look at like anime and how much of an art form and how serious that art form is taken over in Japan. A lot of American animation jobs went to Japan, as well as Korea and other countries. And now it's taken like really seriously over there around the 70s and 80s, when a lot of the like Akira was made, or there's a bunch of others that I'm forgetting, or even when like Miyazaki was getting started in animation. So
Which I was going to say, I learned this from the Japan Pavilion in Epcot, so shout out to Disney. But, we're going through the one, I forget what it's called, but the one about the Japanese, like, cute kind of, like, obsession or whatever museum displays there right now. And anyways, it was just saying how that is, like, I guess, a big part of why it developed was out of a desire to express yourself as a Japanese person and to kind of escape from the reality, to be known kind of as more than just a number, more than just kind of, going to your 9-to-5 job, whatever it is kind of. And so again, could be interesting to go back to our earlier discussion of like, maybe there is kind of more of a desire for escapism in Japan, just culturally, from whatever cultural factors have kind of influenced that, which has led to that emergence of the art form taking root over a longer period of time, because that's how they fantasize about escapism. Whereas Americans, maybe just the spirit of their times, they've switched to fantasizing about a different type of escapism, scrolling on Instagram, whatever it is. It's like, I don't know. I'm just theorizing here about like different
We're
why
getting
it
to
takes
the
root in different parts of the
psychosomatic
world.
side of it all. But yes,
Although
the
Chica, in our
kawaii.
chat does say that it's now leaving Japan too. So
Yeah.
So anyways, this was a huge diversion, but
Yeah,
I want
sorry.
to know, was there ever a Andy Anaheim in the flesh? Did he ever appear as a little mascot man running around?
No, he did not appear in a mascot format similar to what Orange Bird did in the 70s and 80s. He never...
He could have saved it. He could have saved
could have.
American animation.
That would be so cute. Like, oh, I can see him pictured now. Would he be mouse-sized, though? Or would he be so big because he's a letter A? I don't know.
he'd be goofy height.
That would be a really big Andy Anaheim goofy
Yeah.
height. And very large.
Make him as big as the old California letters that used to sit outside of California Adventure.
Just instead of the California and the giant A there in the middle is Andy.
That'd be great.
That would be funny. That would be funny. Well, so anyway, refocus. Get it back to it anyway. The Andy disappeared, just like Orangeburg did, for 25 years. Just about 25 years. Until fans of retro and media, all the people that saved and had all these documents from back in the day in the 50s and 60s, they brought it back out and they're like, hey, there's this cute little guy. He's just a little guy. Why are we using him in things? And there was kind of a movement to bring him back in 2011. So it took 25 years, but Orange Bird made his resurgence in 2011 and 2012 because somebody else went, there's a little guy. And Tokyo Disney in merchandise, part of that fruit festival that they did, was the one that rediscovered him. And it made Disney World go, oh, hey, that's our guy. Well, now the same thing has kind of happened again, where people showed interest in Andy Anaheim in 2011, and they're like, oh, he used to be our guy. He used to represent Anaheim. Maybe we need to bring him back in some capacity. And that's exactly what they did. He started slowly appearing more in some publications, very, very slowly. And you can see him the most in the Anaheim Fall and Halloween Festival again. So when Andy first appeared, this Halloween festival was really, really big back in the day. In the 50s, in the 60s. But then by the time the 80s and 90s rolled around, kind of that loss of whimsy era that you were just saying, Clarence, the popularity of it started to wane. Like, nobody started showing up again. It still happened by the very, very small team that made it like a thing. Yes, Amanda. They kept it a thing. They still had the parade. And it wasn't until 2013 when Kevin Kidney and Jody came in. Do you know
Jody
Kevin and
Daly?
Jody?
I don't.
You would know them immediately. Okay. Y'all, this is your homework that you got to do right now. Look up Kevin and Jody art. And immediately you will see all these limited edition art collections. They did so much. They did the sculpture work for the Country Bear Jamboree. They did so much merchandise. They have ties to Disney's history from a while ago in sculpture and in all these different things. But Kevin and Jody are California locals also for their art studio, and they fell in love with Andy. And so they created a large float of Andy Anaheim, and it's him hitting a little drum that has the Halloween Festival logo on it. And there was a 2.0 version that they did also that I think made an appearance like a few years ago, 2-3 years ago. Mm-hmm. But he first made a major reappearance in 2013 and has been an official mascot because of Kevin and Jody. They kind of brought him back over there in Anaheim.
The Dapper Danielle Show will be right back after these messages.
Interesting. But but the revival, I'm just like trying to think about what happened in like 2011, 12, 13 that caused this, like, because I Googled, I mean, if Andy Anaheim went into hiding and then could only come out in 2011.
Right.
In 2011, things that happened. So you guess which of these caused him to come out of hiding, saying it was safe now. We had the killing of Osama bin Laden, devastating earthquake in Japan, Occupy Wall Street, the death of Steve Jobs, Prince William got married to Kate Middleton, and South Sudan gained independence from Sudan. Also, Game of Thrones came out, Minecraft came out, and Rebecca Black was singing Friday. So, which of these things contributed to Andy Anaheim feeling like this is a safe world for me to come back out into?
Rebecca Black singing Friday, 110%.
I think Andy was really scared of Osama bin Laden, and once he was gone, he was like, "Oh, I can come out." He was really frightened because, I mean, I would be scared too.
Like, I feel like it's like two characters going to like the witness protection program, and then all of a sudden it's like one of these events is the key to let them know like it's safe.
Right.
We've taken care of any threat
For both Andy and Orangebird.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it seems really coincidental. They both reemerge in the same like 3 years.
I think not.
I'm also wondering if there's some sort of legal agreement that expired then. I'm also wondering if we like started indexing legal agreements in Google or something, and someone could just search this stuff and was like, "Oh, hey, we have these licensing agreements that aren't expired. What if we did something with that?"
Or I do think Orangebird's was kind of in that vein because his 1971 started disappearing by the time Florida Citrus Commission ended their contract. So they stopped sponsoring the Sunshine Pavilion. And I wonder if I think his was contractual, but I don't know why Andy's would be contractual. Because it was gifted to the Chamber of Commerce, and it was used for a much longer period of time, over 40 years, compared to Orangebird, who was maybe only used 15 years max. You know?
Mm-hmm. It's just fascinating.
It is fascinating. See, I think I have more questions than answers. But again, it's because there's no other documentation of Andy other than the fans of vintage legal paperwork. This was on documentation from the Chamber of Commerce. That's the only way that he appeared.
I will say, I went to Anaheim.net just now.
Did you?
And he is on the website.
See, and he appears updated in most recent, like, art forms, too. His A is made to look like overalls.
Mm-hmm. I did also see from the Anaheim.net, there is a link to the Anaheim Historical Society that has a whole article about Andy Anaheim.
Yes. I think that's where I got most of my
Might
information
have been
from,
where you got a lot of this info. But there is some documentation out there.
There is a little bit of documentation, but that's it.
It's one page, but it's there.
Right,
So
there's one web page.
You let us know in the comments how you think Andy is connected to Osama bin Laden, a 9.0 earthquake in Japan, Minecraft, Friday, any of these events, anything that happened in 2011. You let us know.
I think Andy was frightened after 9/11, so he hid until Osama was gone. And then he was so excited about the launch of Minecraft that he's like, I gotta come out of hiding and buy the game. I gotta download Minecraft. I gotta become a Minecraft YouTuber.
I actually know. I know the reason. Andy was a prophet, okay? You got to think, we're thinking the wrong direction, okay? We're thinking about what would have happened before Andy's return that would have caused him to come out of hiding. What happened after his return? 2012. Andy came out to warn us about the end of the Mayan calendar to help save all of humanity in 2012. Only with Andy and Orangebird combining were we able to survive 2012.
Orange County to Orange County, completing the line connecting the two from coast to coast of America.
He also was warning us about Coney 2012.
Wow.
Y'all remember Coney 2012?
No.
Coney 2012. Coney
I do
2012.
remember Coney
I
2012.
have no idea what that one is.
It was the Invisible Children thing, and they raised a lot of money, and it was all kind of a scam.
Oh, yes. I do remember that.
It's a warlord.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird. I remember even my church talked about that for a while. It's kind of a big throwback to high school Ian there. I didn't even think about that for a long
Wow.
time.
Unlocked something deep in the memory banks
honestly,
right there.
it really did. I'm like, whoa, yeah, wow, I do remember that.
Yes.
Free Burma Rangers. That's
You know
Burma.
what's actually Jay in the Patreon chat just brought up that there are actually a lot of things that came up and changed because of 9/11, the events of 9/11. So there could be some weird vein in that, you know.
It's
Say it, Clarence. What are you thinking?
You're not going to be the one to stabilize this conversation, Clarence.
no, I'm not. I'm not
You're
going to
not
stabilize
that
the
guy.
conversation.
You're not
Okay, then
that
should I go
guy.
ahead and
No.
put a pin in it? Put a
I
pin
will
in it.
say, I didn't even bring up 9/11 in this episode, and it still came up. I want every listener out there to know, including Danielle and Ian, I've not told you this, I've slipped a 9/11 reference into every episode this season. And I didn't even do it this episode. You did.
Oh no! So we're just keeping up with your track record.
I win. I've won.
That's not the note I wanted to end this episode on. I gotta find something else for this to end on. How do I wrap this up? I already said my end point of how he's still there. Oh, you know what you could do? If you're an Anaheim local or you live out there in Anaheim, if you want to participate in the Halloween Fall Festival or you want to participate in where Andy Anaheim appears the most, they have an Instagram. They have a social media platform and they are taking volunteers right now. Or if you're an artist in the Anaheim area, they also do a market too for Halloween out there. So definitely look into it. There's some really fun things that are happening in that community. And I think that's so amazing. And that I for it to be something that almost disappeared. And it was one of the longest running things that dates back to, I think, 1923 for them. And for it to have almost disappeared, and now it's seeing a resurgence here in like just within the past 10 years, I think is amazing. So Anaheim, go support your community out there. If you're going to be at FanExpo Anaheim, come and support us also.
Cosplay as Andy Anaheim.
Oh my, if somebody cosplayed as Andy Anaheim, I would die. Like, that would be amazing. I think I'm going to have the only merchandise there at all of Andy Anaheim. But those that know, they're going to know. Or because they listen to this podcast or they listen to our content.
The show will know.
Mm-hmm. Our loyal podcast listeners will be the only
the 40
ones
or 50 people in Anaheim that listen to this show will know.
True. Well, thank you all so much for listening and hanging out with us until the very, very end of this episode. I know it was a very interesting topic, a little known character, and we kind of did derail there at the end, but thanks for bearing with us to the bare end. We really do appreciate it. Look up who Andy is. You can see how cute and adorable he is. I think he's fabulous. Check out Kevin and Jody. Their Instagram is amazing, and you probably own pieces of their artwork if you are an art collector fan in the Disney realm or in the Disney sphere. So more cool things to come. Absolutely. Is there any other cool announcements that we have, guys, that I am forgetting?
Pre-order the book.
Oh, that too. Our publisher actually reached out to us and they were like, hey, can you start posting links about the Lost History of Walt Disney World book? And I'm like, we've been talking about it for a while now. My people already know. And I'm like, me and Ian were even talking and we're like, do they not see the pre-order numbers and how it's already in the top 10 on Amazon?
You have to consistently remind.
I know.
You know.
It's still.
Not everybody's going to scroll down in the description and see the link for the pre-order without us mentioning it. But it is there.
But you know who has pre-ordered? Almost all of my Patreon. Shout out Tanya.
Chat.
Thank you. Saying, yeah, I already pre-ordered. She was one of the first. Absolutely. She knew. Yeah,
and Amanda. Shout out Amanda.
See, they know. Those that know are already part of the cool kid train and they already know. Like they're here, they're hip for it. So if you want to be part of the cool kid train and you want to be part of the hip few, go ahead and pre-order The Lost History of Walt Disney World. Some really fun content in there. I'm excited for this book to finally be out because I feel like we kept talking about it.
Chica as well pre-ordered.
Thank
Shout
you.
out.
Yes. Oh, so good. So exciting. So exciting.
Katie Joe. I'm just everybody who says in the chat that they've pre-ordered. I'm going to shout them out. I need to at this point. I've already done it for everybody.
Well, I know some people are waiting. If you are here in the Florida area, you are waiting until we do our first book signing, which will be leading like right around the time that the book releases, which is going to be September 8th here in the US is when the book officially releases. Not sure about our friends overseas or over in the UK. Not sure when your date is. Usually it's a month afterwards, but here in the US it's going to be September 8th. We're going to be doing a book signing. We're working on a couple other book signings. We just got confirmation on another con that I can't share with you just yet. But if you're on the Patreon, I went ahead and gave you a sneak peek.
I didn't share the...
You didn't share.
I didn't sign the contract. Do you think this would count as you sharing if I said it on here?
I think it would, and I don't want us to get sued.
That too. So we might just anticipate more information.
Us showing
or
up in other places.
If you want to know ahead of time, I did make a video because they said I can't announce it publicly. They didn't say I couldn't share it with the Patreon private family. So I did make a video and I announced it to the private Patreon, the paid Patreon level. So if you want to know the confirmation that we got the other day, you have to be part of the paid Patreon to be able to access that information.
Should I just say it?
No!
No!
We're excited about it, y'all. We're very, very excited.
We can't announce it until after Anaheim Fan Expo is done.
That too.
But it's
Which
the
is
day after.
After this episode airs, it'll be 2 days after. We will be in Anaheim. We're going to be experiencing FanExpo Expo, and then we can talk about it immediately after.
Yeah, I think Patreon is fine. Just in the public sphere. It's on the DL.
Jay's arguing, well, Ian's not under any NDAs. He can share the information.
Exactly.
Jay, you already know the secret because you're in this chat.
It's sort of a border town.
Yeah, something. So fun things to come. Some more fun announcements, but we are going to be spending our time over in Anaheim. And I think our next episode, maybe it'll be a recap or maybe it'll be something that we film on location. I don't know. Clarence will not be present for this one either because he has other things that are coming up too. But maybe what we'll do, maybe we'll be able to call in for you for this episode. For maybe after the con, we'll film one in the evening time and we'll get on call with you at home, Clarence.
Okay, sure.
If not, maybe it'll just be a recap of our time out there in Fan Expo.
You let me know.
Or,
I mean, I could do like Saturday or Sunday.
That's true.
I guess you're in the convention hall during the day.
We would be.
We could do it at night, maybe.
We should end the episode, and then this can be a conversation for after we end the episode.
Okay, yes. Well, again, thank y'all so much for listening this far into the end of the episode. We will see you back here next time. And until then, night-night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight. Thanks, y'all!